let you know, last night after you left, this other company, they'd come sweeping into your stand with tape measures and cameras, and they'd basically scoped everything out. And
Welcome to Focus Focus, voices leading change.
Here we are with Matt from Starex. How are you, brother?
hello, I'm good. Yeah, how are you, Ray?
Yeah, good, mate. We might as well open with the Wars. It's, hopefully we get a win, and the Broncos could be a game over in Suncorp if it goes the right way.
Absolutely, it's a benefit that I've had since my family and I moved to Brisbane about 3 years ago. So yeah, we definitely try to catch the Wars as much as we can when they're over.
The last Gold Coast game was pretty much a Warriors home game.
Oh, well, I've been to
heck.
2 Titans games. So I went 2 years ago, we beat them, and that was awesome. And
Yes.
then unfortunately I also went last year when we got absolutely walloped,
Yes,
like
we got a
60 something.
hiding.
That was
Yes.
horrible.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible. But it was amazing watching the last one, and we gave them a bit of a touch up. But the amount of Warriors fans and the Broncos and the Titans thing, even at I was gutted because I have avoided the Magic round purely because the Warriors played it was Sunday. And then I didn't watch the draw this year, and they played Saturday.
Yep.
And I was gutted, but my mates over there, he said it was just full with Warriors fans. It's just unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, I've missed out on the Magic round. I've not got there yet. But
Yes.
it's something to do. I always miss the window to buy the tickets because
Right.
they
They go like
just
that.
sell
I
like
know,
that,
they
so.
go like that. The Vegas trip, mate, man, the Vegas trip for the Warriors was unbelievable.
Did you do that?
Yep. Courtney and I did it.
wow.
We'll put it this way, I never get to celebrate at the end of the season, so I thought we might as well celebrate the start of the season, right? It was such a great trip.
Apart from the result, but yeah, it is.
Yes, no, the result wasn't great, but certainly worthwhile. But the move to Australia, been there, is it 3 years, far
3
out?
years. So January of 2023, we made the move to Australia.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's, like we have a lot of history with you guys. We're 6 centres deep now.
Yep. So 2018, 2019 is almost one a year.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been.
Yes,
We've been some years we've had more than one. But
Yes. It's been, and obviously we just love Starex. And the evolution of the relationship's been something we're really proud of. And the fact that you do know us, but you know also that Starex, that we like to try some things and we like to innovate and try to be creative. And hasn't it just been an amazing journey in terms of creating some real key bespoke features of what sets Future Focus aside?
Yeah, definitely. I think you and Courtney just sort of got it as to what we look for in a way and try to find with the customer, create that unique sort of just bespoke environment. It doesn't have to. That doesn't mean that it has to be bespoke furniture. It's just the feel, the look, little details that sort of make all of that together and the whole holistic look at the whole centre.
Yes.
That's sort of something that we enjoy doing, and I think you and Courtney definitely were on board with that from the start. We've made a few little trial and error things that along the way, but that's again been that relationship's been really good. I think where we've learned off each other and learned how to get the formula right.
Yeah, the evolution of even simple things as bag lockers and what that looks like in phase 1 v phase 6.
Well, yeah, I mean, lockers is a funny one. Like for me, they're probably the most important item in the centre.
Yes.
And the reason being is that is the item that everyone interacts with.
Yep.
The teachers,
Parents,
obviously the children. It's their space. That's their locker. I think they're really important, and that's an element that you can really give a sense of home for a child and a parent as well, and make. I think that makes a big difference to just the start of the day and the arriving, the regularity of that. I think
ownership. Ownership. Yeah, but even this at West June, we've built a little nook where there's obviously the cupboards, but then there's a little nook for kids to go and hide, and it's such a popular little feature. In terms of cost, it's actually would be bugger all more outside of it's just a little corner piece.
Yeah.
But for those kids that want to get straight into play or see their mates, and it's just that thinking there of the user experience really matters for the child and for the educator because the children aren't hidden away, but they're in a little nook that they love, just in a real high use area outside of it just putting the wet clothes away. It's that small thinking, that small thought that always continues to surprise me. Now that I'm not so much involved in the design play.
But I mean, a lot of that design, we just learn from our customers, and
Yep.
we learn from the needs of the children. I mean, we fundamentally, we're a furniture manufacturer, and we just build really good stuff. That's really our first and foremost. But it's the learnings that we get of the needs within the centre. I wouldn't say we do a huge amount of research into the ideas. We don't really jump on board specific ideologies or certain teaching techniques, but we just take snippets of things that we think, oh, there's a need there. That's something we need. And nooks, places for children to sort of self-regulate and hide away. That's certainly been something, certainly in the last 5-6 years, that's become quite prominent.
Yes.
So that's a case for us to just have fun and try and find ways to introduce that and put that element of...
While still maintaining a aesthetic.
Yeah, whilst still maintaining an aesthetic. I mean, I think there's a lot of key things that when we look at our furniture, for us, number one is durability. We always have prided ourselves on manufacturing something that...
like the furniture durability is second to none.
For us, that's got to be number one. The second thing is the functionality.
Yeah.
Then it will then dive into the aesthetic. The aesthetic is always sort of the last, but will be the cherry on the top, and it's the little details that we can put in and add. But we certainly don't design for the aesthetic first. That's not the first and foremost. It's always looking at the function and the durability and how we're going to make something.
An aesthetic doesn't have to be some bright pink velvet. It's like our chairs at West June have got our engraved now, our chairs in the back, and we've got Future Folks engraved. Like that as an aesthetic is powerful, because when we start to generate content supporting our centres and things, the branding comes across in so many ways.
It does. And it's the little details that actually make a room.
Correct.
So you can't, it's not the grand aesthetic, it's not the feature necessarily, it's the things around it that add it all up.
Yes.
So it's like the little logos, it could be the colour, it's just a certain shape. And it's just being able to create a space where you walk into a room and it just feels right.
Yes.
That's the trick. That's what you're always trying to achieve. And you don't have to spend a fortune to achieve it. You don't have to. It's just finding what is it that we're wanting. What's the glue that's going to bring this room together, and then just touching on it and bringing all the pieces together and all the elements together.
And I think that's where the alignment's always been. You guys understood that how people feel when they walk in and out of our places is critical, as the sales point, right? Sure. We want to feel pride. We want to feel that there's an element of care, also seeing, this is where my fees essentially are going to real high quality furniture experiences. Our teaching teams, they value it. They value high quality resources. I think that's such an important part. Like storage is a big one for teachers, right? Yeah. As we all know as teachers, you never have enough storage. Yeah. But practical storage that is still still meets function and obviously safety as well as aspects. But it's those small elements that Starex have managed to deliver on time and time again, which we're just so proud of what that, and that's 6. I wonder what 16 looks like. I wonder what 60 looks like. I just know in that space, there's always been a very clear synergy between us and Starex, and we're really pumped on that.
Do you mean like 16 centres or 60 centres? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what I hope is that at 16 and 60, Centre 1 still looks like it did the day that you opened.
Yes. And
because that's, again,
outside of the walls.
That's that durability part that we like to play in here and sort of say, well, that's number one with our function.
Yes.
Sustainability is a funny thing. We use sustainable materials. Yes, we've got the green ticks, we've got the FSC, we've got all the stuff like that. Yes. But for me, the most important thing, for me, that's not sustainability. Sustainability is actually manufacturing a product that's going to last.
Yeah, that I don't have to throw out things every 3 years.
Yeah, you don't want to throw stuff away.
Exactly.
Otherwise, all that sustainable path, all that tick, all that forest that it got cut down from, and they can track the tree and they plant another tree. If you're only making a chair that lasts for a year,
yes,
it's an absolute waste.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
Not sustainable.
Yeah.
So that for us is now. So if your 60th centre, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
If your 60th centre and your first centre still looks the same, that for us is what we would love to achieve or love to have. Yeah, good investment.
Yep.
Invest once, invest well. That's James will be tapping you on the back for that.
Yep.
He's our marketing manager. It's one of the things. But it's one of the things we are really proud of.
Yeah,
and
that's why we stick with you, because we know. You do it once, do it well. Yeah, that's just such a I think it is a lost commodity in some elements where, abundance certainly is a factor in setting places up. But
Yeah, sure.
when we've acquired a centre and slowly phased stuff out, it actually hasn't taken long, especially once we filled the place and the usage went up. I mean, that's the real test. So chairs are a great example, right?
Yeah, chairs are a great example.
Where they're used, their percentage of use through the day and movement and water and product on it, paint, all that stuff with that high usage, where they just wipe down to go again.
So this is where that question mark on design or aesthetic is factoring on the function and durability. So we have done a wooden chair design, for example. There's a lot of demand out there for a wooden chair. People like wooden chairs. We still haven't managed to find the formula to actually produce a wooden chair that will last and we can stand by and really say our name. I take that back. We have got some designs, but they're astronomically expensive. So they kind of counter themselves from great investment, but man, that for a short term initial setup, that's quite expensive. So for me, from a sustainable, the steel chairs that we do, they just go and go. In fact, there's another local centre in Tauranga that I remember, this is years ago, cussed me, or not just jokingly, but cussed me, sort of like, Matt, I'm sick of these chairs. I just want to get new chairs, but I can't because they won't break. They just keep going.
Yes.
So,
and it's some of like I said, the high use stools that, that because there's not a lot to them, when you're spreading weight across things, when but because they're so compact but built beautifully and structurally sound, the spread on them just doesn't put any pressure.
Correct.
And that's the key part to any centre trying to build branding or a brand in terms of sustainability, but also just being able to showcase after year 5 without having to spend another huge X amount on new sets of chairs.
Oh, correct. And then you also come down to the holistic approach. So where we've done that detail, and there's things that work and the room works. So this is the other benefit you get, is that then, because you do want to add products potentially down the future, because things change. It might be something that we want to introduce, like the corner nook or something like that. At least with the materials that we've used, the product is still going to be relatively new looking. So adding new products in, you maintain that level, like the day you opened. You sort of keep that same level of aesthetic. Otherwise, you'll see it. You've got centres out there that sort of 5-6 years and have started to add different products, and all of a sudden it just loses that little holistic key, and they wonder what's going on here. Why are we? What's this? There's a buzz lost in the room, and it's because of that. Yeah, the different materials, the different things. That
I liken it to walking into people that have taken over the old dine-in Pizza Huts and they've turned it into a dentist thing. you know that it's Pizza Hut dine-in, but it's a dentist.
Just can't take away that pizza tough crust smell.
But if you've got 2 sets of furniture, it stands out.
Yeah.
And I know that's picky, but when we know and believe that our families deserve the best, that's a function that we take seriously. And that's been the hard thing with phasing out equipment, because you don't want to just be throwing masses of equipment into the rubbish, because that's just terrible. But when you've got one room with Starex and one room not, it does show up, it does stand up.
Agree. I think there's a thing with the industry though, about, because some things won't last. I mean, resources get pounded. I mean, they've got a short lifespan depending on when the environment that they're placed into. So I think the challenge, as for us anyway, is, and we only sell products we manufacture ourselves. Yet a lot of our competitors are sort of in the resource game as well. So there's this blur line between what is normal from a furniture and from the resource. And for me, they're two distinctly different things. And your expectation should be, you should be demanding that your furniture stand the test of time. It should not be viewed upon or included within sort of the branch of resources. They're two, and they have two different functions, and they serve two different things. Furniture is the vehicle to display the resources and the learning. And where we can, and we're lucky, we can do elements within the furniture to also supplement and encourage that learning space and that learning environment. That's always been a challenge for our customers anyway, to sort of get that traction through, because they're sort of used to this, well, it's a resource and this mindset. I think that's the justification that we always have trouble with customers, to sort of explain why, say, our price point is what it is compared to other customers, other suppliers.
Well, let's justify it. I mean, your furniture acts not only as the obviously functionality, durability, aesthetic factors, but it also creates strong placeholders for the flow of rooms. You can utilise, because the equipment is well made, it's not easy to push over. It's because it can withstand high use. You can actually generate different feels in the room overnight. Because
it's definitely overnight. It's not something you want to move during the day.
Yeah. But as we've evolved, this is what I love about Starex. As we've evolved, we've realised we still like functionality with some parts, and we still like some real stable pillow type pieces also. And in that setting alone, when we're justifying our spend, which we generally don't now because we trust you guys so much, but in that setting, what we're always looking for is that teachers can supervise capably, so that little people are safe. The second thing, though, is that storage again. That's always the conundrum with a centre, is like storage, because you tend to build up on resources, as every great centre should, actually, quite frankly. But ultimately, justifying a price over a long, when we equal out the fact that Starex at Pat Beach was our first centre, if we're 20 years in and we haven't replaced anything, actually it cost us nothing, really. We've phased it right in a depreciated state. It's unbelievable. That's... What's that, $10 or $5 a year in that sense per year? It's actually nothing.
Yeah, bang on. I mean, that's sort of the argument that we try and have, but it is still hard to sort of get that point across. And it's also really difficult as well, obviously, with centre. You've opened a lot of centres, so cash flow is a real critical thing. And unfortunately, the resource in the furniture side is certainly something that's sort of at the tail end. And things happen. Builds go wrong. Things happen where suddenly you get a build for something that was like, we didn't expect that one. So, it has to be found somewhere else. So unfortunately, it does sort of come through on that furniture side. So, I mean, for us, we just try and present what we offer and the benefits that you get from that. And then it's still up to the customer to try and justify and make the decision as to what they want to do best. But for me, when you put it like that, it's a no-brainer.
So if we go backwards then, Matt, where does this come from? Because you guys, Starex has been around a long time, actually.
Starex has been around since 1983. It's quite a while.
It's a cool story.
It is a cool story. So there was two guys that actually started in 1983. There used to be a company called Star Manufacturing in Tauranga, and they used to do office furniture. That was being closed down, and the two guys that decided to set up Starex basically got together and started the business. So the name and the story behind the name is actually really cheesy. It's just ex-employees of Star Manufacturing. So there's Starex. They set up in Totara Street down Mount Maunganui. It was just opposite the fire station. There's a little place there. I actually don't know if it's the one now where they had run the little DJ on the little... Is it the...
Rising Tide?
No, not Rising Tide, down Totara, just opposite the old fire station.
Yes. Yes.
It's one of those little buildings in there now. It's smaller. So they started off small. They were doing office furniture, and it was sort of like the mid to late 80s. They got approached by a local kindergarten association to see if they could do some furniture. They kind of cottoned on that there was something here, and that it was quite niche. I guess pre that, there was mum, dad, granddad, grandma would sort of bang stuff together, and that would be the kindergarten, and that was that. So that's sort of where they realised, there's actually a need here to build or to manufacture furniture that will last, or purpose
little sized furniture,
education, and that's sort of where it generated from. So by around the mid 90s, it was Starex basically was specialised in early childhood furniture. And on the odd occasion, they still did chairs for clubs, like golf clubs and bars and things like
you've
that.
done a bunk for us. You've done a set of bunk beds for us. But you guys have, even since we've been with it, it's certainly leveled up, scaled up. Because what have you made the move to Aussie? And
so Melissa and I bought the business in 2006.
Yes.
Funnily enough, we were in Brisbane at the time, so we're both in the airline industry. I was working for Virgin Blue. Melissa was working in the IT department with Virgin Blue. And Melissa's mum actually was working at Starex. So we had a plan. We were about to go to the UK. We did the whole thing where, we're going to go overseas. So I've got a job at Virgin Blue. We'll be there for a year or two, and then we'll go to the UK. 5 years later, we're still in Brisbane. And I just got a job actually to go to the UK and get a job with EasyJet. And then Missy's parents came over, and it was an Easter of 2006, and said, we've got a proper proposal for you. Where would you be interested in going into business? I mean, it was absolute a parents-in-law ploy to get us home.
Yes, of course.
It was fully just trying to
love
get us
that.
home.
Yeah.
And they sort of put this to us, and Melissa and I just thought about it, and Tauranga and Mount Maunganui is at home. We kind of assessed it and thought, well, we've had 5 years in Brisbane. It's sort of been an OE. This is just a really interesting opportunity. So we had no background in furniture ownership. Jenny and Hayden, so that's Melissa's parents, they have had multiple businesses. So we had confidence knowing that, okay, well, at least we'll have a bit of guidance here and we'll sort of get through things. So, we sort of made the decision, and it all happened within about 2 months. So then on July 1st of 2006, we sort of took over Starex. There was 7 staff, I think, at that time when we took over.
And the far out, so 06 into, we fast forward nearly 20 years, I guess, in that scenario. And we've seen an explosion of obviously early learning centres through those windows there.
Oh, industry has just changed so much from what 2006 was. So back then we were manufacturing our furniture out of clear lacquered MDF and plywood. Still making it the same way we do now.
Yes.
It would last for 20 years, but basically within about a year it would look like it was 20 years old. So we had the durability part down packed.
Right, yeah.
And to be honest, back then though, when the industry was first there, that didn't actually matter. I mean, you'd go into your kindergarten, it didn't matter if it was old and, as long as it had function and form, that was the key thing. And I mean, you could look at this being a positive, negative. There's many ways you could spin this and sort of say, why can't we be like that? And because times have changed, people have changed, demands of people have changed, and why can't you create beautiful spaces for kids? Why do they have to have older things or old spaces or not really thought through holistic spaces? And that's no criticism from the decades ago of kindergarten teachers that actually created great learning experiences. And I have positive impacts from my memories of kindergarten, so I'm not trying to suggest that there wasn't that at all. But that's where definitely there's been a shift from sort of 2006, and we sort of noticed it around 2011. There was a shift in aesthetic. There was this shift in design. I guess you could say it was the privatisation of childcare.
Yes.
You can go back another 10, 15 years when that happened.
Yes.
And eventually that had sort of overtaken the public kindergartens, and there was just more and more private care.
Yes, and I think at the private care, yes. Oh, I mean, I'm a kinder kid too. I grew up in Takara Paranui Road kindergarten, and I certainly don't remember the flash chairs or anything like that. I mean, but ultimately, when you are in that space, dedicating funding to creating a space of not so much, we haven't considered always competitiveness. Quite frankly, we modelled ourselves off New Shoots because we thought their centres were beautiful. That's it. Michelle and them, we thought they did a great job. We had Frankie went to New Shoots before Future Focus opened. We loved it. We loved the feel and the aesthetic, and we were like, cool, we want to be like them.
It's been an interesting time with the development with them as well, and the changes that they've made, and the changes of the centres and the protection of their IP. I mean, there was a point there where I remember sending an email to New Shoots sort of saying, don't mention to anyone that Starex has made your furniture. Yes. Because it was putting us in really awkward positions where people can say, hey, we really want that. And it was like, we had to explain, look, sorry, that's New Shoots have a design team, that's their product, that's what they've done.
Which isn't a great move for business, but that is a huge, beautiful reflection on you guys.
Oh, I think it's just really important. We try to protect not only New Shoots IP, but everyone's IP. And that extension really came on where I was struggling with that to keep up with everything. And this is sort of around 2017. Struggling to keep up with the design and the custom, because that was where things were sort of going. And it was at that point that I realised that we needed a design team, an in-house design team, and we needed some industrial designers that could really just create products that represent us, be our core range, that is who we are. And then with that design team, we could then take the other companies and the other centres that really wanted their own look and their own uniqueness, and we could offer that and protect it and still produce durable furniture.
Yes. Yeah, but again, I think that talks back to you guys and your integrity, protection of people's IP while still being able to be creative and generate not bespoke, but certainly core range that doesn't quite have to replicate one set so they can retain their uniqueness. Is a very beautiful approach to business. I think that's commendable. I think lots of businesses would not consider that. I think most
we
would.
see it, and we see it in the competition. So I've got a story on that, and this again when Missy and I bought Starex, and we went to a show in Rotorua. It was the first show we'd been to, and it was the first introduction for us to the childcare community. And I remember we were driving back to Tauranga because we didn't stay over in Rotorua. We drove back. We'd finished our stand for the day, and we'd sort of packed it up, and then jumped in the car and came back, and we were just talking to each other and saying, man, we've fallen into such a wicked industry. There are such cool people here. It was just super friendly. We were learning a lot. I mean, we were just introducing ourselves and sort of going, hey, well, we're new. We don't really know much, but this is super exciting. And people were just so welcoming. To then, unfortunately, the next morning we got back and there was a stand next to us, and I can't remember which one it was, but the girl came over to us and said, I just want to let you know, because we took over a new unit. Like within the first couple of months, we designed this rainbow and sort of thing. She came over and said, I just want to let you know, last night after you left, this other company, they'd come sweeping into your stand with tape measures and cameras, and they'd basically scoped everything out and sort of measured it all up. And we were just like, man, wow, okay. So we've gone from day one where we thought this is such a beautiful industry to, however, there seems to be a completely different side on the supplier side of the fence. So yeah, that was really interesting. And we've had similar unfortunate experiences since as well. And you know, it's just unfortunate, as you say, that there's some out there that design's design. Design should be there for inspire, and I'm absolute advocate for this. You should see something, you should go, man, that's beautiful. I wish I'd thought of doing that. And then you sit on it and you marinate on it for 6 months, and then you can reinvent it and create something from that is design. Ripping in with tape measures and cameras and taking photos of stuff, that is not design. That is ripping off, basically. So
I know they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but I think they push the boat out a bit too far there.
Yeah, look, it is. It's tough. And I mean, we even found that going into Australia. So we launched a new range in 2020. That was just at COVID. We'd spent 2 years developing what is the main range that's on our website now, and I'd like to think it's going to be there forever. It's sort of like it was everything that the company had learned over 40 years, and we sort of all put it into this one. We had 3 industrial designers that worked on it for that 2-year period. We released that, and then I know for even Australia, there's been a couple of our products by the end of 2020 that have been completely replicated, and they were selling in. And there's not much you can do about it, as you say. You can take the flattery side of it. That's the only way you can really deal with it. But it is just a bit unfortunate. And to be fair, back then they didn't know and we didn't know that we were probably going to enter into that Australian market. So that being said, they could have changed it a little bit. Just a little bit.
I still think that's an integrity thing, but and R&D, because you just talked about a 2-year window there, and a lot of businesses, I think that's where we're really proud of Future Focus ourselves, is we do spend a lot of time being creative. I think a lot of business owners get flooded and stop being creative, and actually hearing the story of the for Virgin, then throwing yourselves into something completely off centre. That R&D space, what do you reckon you're doing there in that creative phase? How much time? What does it look like? Because lots of businesses should be listening to this.
Yeah, look, it's still very customer-led. So it's still us trying to create that unique sort of approach and falling back still on that durability function, number one, and then creating that design aesthetic. We're doing other things though. We've started to work with aluminium. So we've identified aluminium as a material that we can use. So we've now got that in-house where we can fabricate that. The other thing is, that's a big thing too. A lot of everything we do is pretty much done in-house. So we always try and keep control of everything we do, and that helps with the R&D process as well. It keeps costs down, and it means that we don't bite off more than we can chew. It's all stuff that we know we can actually replicate.
You're controlling end-to-end the costs, manufacture timeframes, everything like that.
So otherwise, it's definitely that customer-led, and it's that unique spot or something that looks different, and just trying to achieve that. And on that note, I mean, materials can do that. There's new materials and things that are coming out. A lot of them we wouldn't touch because fundamentally we come down to it and go, I wouldn't have that material on the front of a fridge of a family play unit. Sorry, because it's not going to last barely a year. So we wouldn't forfeit ourselves for sales to sort of just stick some new material
Material,
out there
yeah.
at the expense of that durability and that longevity. So we already know a lot of R&D ourselves. A lot of research we know. We know what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Yes.
And then, it's customers like yourselves that come to us and sort of have these needs, and they're really the driver and the push and the driver to do something new and different. And I think that's where it's cool. What we've created is a company that can achieve it.
Yeah, we can pivot.
We can pivot and we can create new things and do it in a way which is not absolutely bank breaking, but it's
not your typical Henry Ford production line. Creating thousands of Model T Fords in one go. Yep. You're still creating lots of variants while having a core range. I mean, it's an innovative way to still create high levels of customer satisfaction, whilst still keeping obviously financial viability out the front. Whether when you're in business, whether you like it or not, you got to be financially viable and thrive.
I mean, we have that approach with our customers. It's always there's no one-stop shop. There's no one pathway. There's multiple pathways, and we usually try and start with the budget with the customer, and we sort of say, look, we can design centres at sort of $650 per child. If you want to look at it from a financial point of view, you can go all the way up to 2,000, 2,500, and there have been some centres that have been kind of up at that level. It purely comes down to where the customer is driven, what they're wanting, and we sort of just work with that and try and come up with achieving what they want within the budget that they have.
There's a lot of, obviously take Gold Coast, I read reports, they're miles behind in terms of child places, but we've got some insight into the Australian market. We've got friends in there in Harmony, and their centres are stunning. But the Australian market is another beast in terms of just size as well. It's just...
Yeah, they're bigger centres on average. Like you're talking 8 rooms, 9 rooms.
One at Harmony, I think they're like 160 or 180.
There will be some centres that size.
One in
massive
Gold Coast,
centres.
huge.
Yeah.
Swimming pool attached to it, all cafe, and unbelievable. But you know what? Where I give them again, the furniture and the design piece to it all it just didn't feel like a hospital or you know what I mean? But they are different beasts, different challenges, right?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, the Australia move for us just sort of happened organically. We were already supplying into Australia, and it was sort of around 2023. Look, New Zealand, we did it tough. Everyone did it tough. We did it tough over that period, 2023. Frankly, New Zealand's still doing it tough.
Yes.
And we recognised in just the end of 2022 that we were supplying into Australia. We had a good customer base there, but it just wasn't easy enough for customers over there. So we knew we had to simplify it. So we looked into, we need to set up an Australian version. Fundamentally, it's just Starex Australia is basically acting on Starex New Zealand's behalf and coordinating customer sales and the arrival of furniture. They have a thing where directors had to reside in Australia. So that was fundamentally the number one reason we went there. On the back of that, we also realised, actually, it's probably a good thing that we do go. We're going to do a couple of things here. Our company is 25 people strong. We've got a great team. We thought this is a good opportunity for our team to stand up. Can they run this place? I believe they can, and they can do this. It gave us an opportunity to front Australia and sort of say, hey, we're a Kiwi company, but the owners are here. We're here because we mean to do well, good business with good people, and we're here to work with you and build that up. And that's sort of how that came about.
I love it because essentially you've become an international company, I guess, in that sense. In some ways,
I mean, it is. They're a big brother, little brother. It's got that. It does have a little bit of that mentality. But no, you're right. We're pretty proud of that. There's a couple of factors around that. It's the size, as you mentioned. There's a lot of growth going on there. New Zealand's growth has definitely stagnated quite a bit in the last couple of years. We won't go into it. It's probably bordering on the political side, but there's been, let's say, a lot of roadblocks that have made things a lot harder for people to want to open a new centre. I guess the opportunity in Australia are sort of there. The big thing is just we are doing something different. It's not to say there are some companies in Australia that manufacture their furniture over there, and they're great, but we found that the majority of the market over there is flooded with mostly imported product.
And that's the opportunity.
That's the opportunity.
That's the
That was
opportunity.
that was our unique point of difference.
I think that's when we look at that, and quite frankly, New Zealand has. This is where the business community continues to just show me the way, because we're well trusted.
Yeah.
In the international communities, New Zealand products are actually, they come with high trust.
They do.
You know?
They do. And also, I can't also undervalue the early childhood market in New Zealand that leads the way.
Yes.
And Australian centres and customers, they actually, it'd be interesting to know how many come to visit New Zealand every year.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm sure you must get some coming through.
We do.
You get phoned up sort of saying, hey, we're
We've
from
been
Australia.
approached by someone in Japan.
Right, there you go. So New Zealand early childhood has definitely led the way in a lot of things.
Yes, and that's what I spoke at an Academy X. I was keynote at the thing, and I basically said, look, with New Zealand education, we can start with global in mind, because we're a global, our education system and what we model out, i.e. beautiful centres, our storytelling abilities, all those things is global. We capture a lot of international recognition. So if we start with global and go from there, we're in a really good space. And that's, again, I think that's why I reiterate the importance of the relationship with Starex, because we've captured attention through our mediums for sure and storytelling, but it's also the capture of what goes on internally, and Starex has been fundamental to that.
Oh,
Having this chat with you, Matt, 6 years on, and knowing that the relationship's evolving and growing is an important factor to any business, I think, out there, that when we have made a very clear commitment to, you guys were local. You guys drove the van down. I am not handy. I do not use drills and hammers very well. I openly admit that. And you guys just be able to drive down, set up the caravan, set up all that stuff. It was awesome. Seeing the first sites come together and to who we are, where we are today. It's actually no surprise that you've gone international.
I'm not very good on the tools either, but I appreciate you allowing me to come to your centre and do that with my drill and set things up. But yeah, that caravan was fun.
So what next, though, do you think, for Starex? What does it look like?
Oh, look, we're not here for everybody. We don't have ambitions to be, and I don't think you can be. I think if we can't go mass volume. So we're really here just to provide quality furniture that's durable, it's functional, that lasts, and creates a unique space for our customers and for their whānau and for the children and for the communities that we can supply to. So we don't have any grand ambitions here to become a massive manufacturing company. We're just trying to. For me, it's there's a guy that our supplier actually, and I remember meeting him, and he basically came up with this thing. I mentioned it before about good business with good people.
Yep.
That's for us is what we're looking for. So for us, we just want to continue to find good business with good people and just do the best we can to provide a service and provide great furniture. That's sort of where we're going. Unfortunately, there's definitely no grand plan to go Starex International or sort of go. But again, we have inquiries about that. We have inquiries to go overseas. But I mean, even now, like currently, our stuff is Tetris packed. It's fully assembled. It goes into the containers, shipped over. Because that's the only way we know. You can't do it any other way. If we tried to break it and flat pack it and try and assemble it, we wouldn't be holding to our name of getting that durability. So shipping something to the US or shipping something to, we wouldn't want to do that right now. It'd probably cost too much with tariffs. But if you went to shipping to the UK or something, it's probably not really practical.
Viable.
Viable.
Well, we look forward to really continuing the relationship with Starex. Like I said, 16 and 60. I think part of the success is certainly Starex. Courtney and I certainly know that we love dealing with Eleanor. We love her.
Yeah.
She's just so awesome.
Well, our success is also with the relationships that we have with customers like yourselves as well, because you give us the opportunity to display and show our capabilities and what we can do. Yeah. So.
Well, no, it's been awesome. I look forward to, and it's cool to see you guys branch into the Australian market. It's cool to catch up, Matt. Thank you very much. And we look forward to the next conversation and going from there. And hopefully after this weekend...
Up the wires.
Up the wires. Awesome, mate. Awesome. Yeah.